guys, just getting ahead on our book just a little bit so I know what's going to happen. It's always good for me to pre-read just so I have a little idea about what you're going to read as well. Helps me come up with the questions. The way you can do that is to re-listen to the story to answer your questions if you don't know the answer. All right, let's get started with chapter 50, Poisoned Tea. Splosh! Eric and Gertrude crash-landed in the pond. Yee! Screamed the gorilla. She couldn't swim and began to flail around desperately. Gertrude! Gertrude! Calm down! Cried Eric, who was underneath her. But she wouldn't calm down. Her arms and legs were splaying everywhere. Splish! Splash! Splosh! Yee! There was a very big chance both of them could drown in this little pond. With all his might, Eric pushed the gorilla up. Next, he placed her hands on the paving around the pond. Gertrude knew what to do and heaved herself out of the water. She then shook all over herself to try to get the water off her. She spat an unlucky goldfish out of her mouth, Splurt, who luckily landed back in the pond. Splish! Meanwhile, Eric dragged himself out. A frog was squatting on his head, which he hastily returned to its home. Splash! Gertrude, we've got to save Sid. It's too slippery for me to ride on your back, so let's go for it. With that, he took a few paces back and threw himself at the building. Using his best gorilla power, he scrambled up the side of the guest house at terrific speed. Gertrude was not far behind. Once back at the bedroom, Eric hauled himself through the window. Then he reached out his hand to haul Gertrude in. You're both soaking wet, exclaimed Sid, who was lying on the bed. It's a long story. Actually, it's a short story. We fell in the pond. The end. Shunt, shunt, shunt. It was the sound of footsteps coming along the hall. They're coming, hissed the boy. We have to get Gertrude back in the pram. Sid leaped up, and together he and Eric hoisted the damp ape into the pram and covered her with a towel. Eric and Sid then took a running jump at the beds. Boing! The boy whipped the covers over himself to hide his wet clothes. Knock, knock, knock. Your tea, announced Helen, opening the door for Bertha, who was carrying the tray. They entered the room with their usual prim formality. Oh, thank you, ladies, chirped Sid, clearly looking forward to the tea. Of course, the old man had no idea it was poisoned. Please, do drink it while it's nice and hot, said Bertha, placing the tray on the dusty desk. It is murder out there. Bertha noticed that the window was wide open. She and her twin sister shared a suspicious look. In all the excitement, Eric had forgotten to shut it. He winced at his mistake. You must keep this window shut at all times, said Bertha sternly. You could catch your death. With her eye, she indicated for Helen to shut the window, which she dutifully did. Where is the baby? Asked Helen. Oh, the baby, sleeping like a... Eric struggled for a word, but it just didn't come. Baby! Good, good, muttered Helen. Whoop! Whooped the gorilla from the pram. Curious noise for a baby to make, remarked Bertha, more suspicious than ever. May I see her? Yes, just as soon as she wakes up. If she ever does, well, you must excuse us. Myself and Madam Helen have some very important business to attend to. We'll remain, of course, at your loyal service, and don't let that tea get cold. With that, they both bowed their heads, spun on their heels, and left the room. Uncle Sid, hissed Eric, they're trying to kill us. Kill us? Spluttered the old man. Yes. Sid sat up in bed. Let me just have a slurp of that tea. No! And that will do it for poison tea. Now remember, for your full points, you've got to answer each question with a complete sentence restating the question. Copy and paste the question, change it to your answer. Most of the work's done for you. All right, we'll see you tomorrow for chapter 51, Cracking the Code.